Quit your job. Quit your job, quit your job, quit your job. Really? I want to talk about that before you do that. Okay, just give me 5 minutes of your time. That's all I need is 5 minutes of your time, darling. 5 minutes, okay? You know, there's a lot of talk about quitting your job. There's a lot of that going on. And I want to tell you this, you know, before you do that, have you got your ducks in a row? Have you organized yourself, your finances? Oh my God. You know, I know being in a toxic work environment takes its toll on a person's mind. It takes its toll on a person's gut, you know, on their body. You might be going to work feeling sick before you get out your car, feeling like I can't stand them. What they gonna do to me today? You know, and you try it, and I get it. Oh my goodness, the psychological stuff that goes on in toxic work environments is so terrible. Many people I've spoken to over the years, you know, but we don't react in such an emotional way that we turn our world upside down, y'all. Don't turn your world upside down because you can't stand them and because they treating you like crap. They win. They win when we do that. People like that, something's wrong with them if they can be so mean and horrible. It's not you. But the problem will fall on your head if you let them get to you to the point where you will leave your job, find yourself collecting unemployment. You'll be in more of an emotional state because that fear will kick in. You know, oh my gosh, what should I do? You may not then approach your resume with the diligence or the due diligence that it requires. You'll rush and you'll just start applying for anything. You know, that's why I say stop applying. Stop applying. Get your ducks in order. Get your financial picture. Have a good look at it. Where do I stand financially? Can I quit this job? Do I have at least a few months stacked away? Do I have some money that will look after me? Can I do that? Better yet, back in the day, parents used to say, get another job before you quit your job. And it makes sense. Because all the stress that you're going to be taking on, all of that language, how they made you feel, being gaslit, you haven't recovered from that. You see? And when you have not recovered from that toxic environment, you'll go out looking and you'll accept anything. I've had people say, you know, well, I'm just going to take this job because I need a job. Because he didn't plan. I'm just going to take this step down. I'm going to apply for jobs that I'm overqualified for because, you know, I just need a job. Because you didn't strategically plan your exit. Is your LinkedIn sorted out? Are you using ChatGPT or one of these AI tools to refine your About Me section on LinkedIn? That's where they go for the jobs. You know, people go and they look. They look to see who you are. You know, is your resume really reflective of all that value that you added to the business? Does it include your achievement statements? Do you know what achievement statements really should look like and read like? Well, thank God for AI. We can run it through there and say, can you make some achievement statements out of this? But before you do that, you got to brain dump down into that AI platform. See, there are things that you want to have in order before you make big life-changing decisions, such as quitting your job. You know, when you want to ask yourself, can I quit my job today? Can I really quit my job today? And if the answer is yes, then bless you. Bless you. But if the answer is no, it's only a temporary no. It's temporary because you'll get your ducks in a row. You'll get your house in order, your LinkedIn, your resume. If it applies a covering letter, you will be applying right, for different jobs. And then once you get those interviews and you got choices and somebody wants you and they want to pay you fairly for the job you do, you know, that they're hiring you for, then you send in your resignation letter. And maybe you take a week off, because if you got a little bit of money stashed, maybe you can take a week just to calm your nerves, to recover from that toxic work environment, that narcissistic boss, that systematic, you know, what a word I want to say, the systematic behavior that goes on within organizations. You got to find a peace within yourself so you don't take it into the next situation, right? That requires some strength of character to be able to say, I'm quitting my job because I got another job. I'm not going to emotionally leave this job and put myself in a bad situation because they sure in the heck not going to care. Right? You don't do that. You know, you work on those things, and then you work on your mental health and your well-being is what you do. You work on that alongside of building out things. And there's something beautiful about taking action. It takes you away from all the chaos that you might be going through in that job. It puts you in the driver's seat. It empowers you when you start to be able to see all the value that you've added at that job and the previous job and the one before that and what have you. It'll remind you of maybe you got your master's degree later in life. I did, you know. It'll remind you of all the brilliance that is in you. That's what's a beautiful thing about writing a resume and a LinkedIn. You just go, dang, that's me. That's me, yes. It's you. The world is in such an upside down period in everything right now, to the point that you have to be wise. You know, I talked about kind of the DEI thing. Understand the DEI thing is really impacting people. There's no guardrails to protect diverse people anymore. And most everybody's diverse in some capacity. But you gotta get your house in order. Don't just go quit your job because the YouTuber says quit your job. I had to make this video to be responsible. To be responsible to you. You know? It's like, I want you to be the best version of yourself. I want you to be strong. I want you to leave with your shoulders back and your head held up high. Not with the F you, I'm out of here. Because you got to carry that, which was regret. And then there's shame attached to that. That's not something I want for you. Not at all. Not at all. I want you to be that professional person that you are. You're showing up every day in and amongst the chaos. My goodness. You're holding yourself together, if only just by face. You're just keeping a straight face. You're holding yourself together in that toxic environment. That shows strength of character. Hold on to that strength of character and be strategic about this move. Because I tell you what, it's rough out there. I'm going to make another video about, I'm going to stay on this path talking about quitting jobs. I want to bring up some information that I found out about jobs that are going to be threatened, about how maybe it's your job in the grand scheme of things that's going to be threatened. If you feel like this has resonated with you, will you please like the video? You can subscribe if you want to. That'd be lovely. I'd also like you to say how you're doing down in the comment section. Tell me what else you need from me. I've been doing this thing for a dozen years, y'all. I've seen a lot. And this is me giving back. You know? I'm here to help you. Ain't gonna cost you nothing but a little bit of a comment so I can figure out how to help you. Okay? Stay strong. Understand that all you gotta do is prepare. Plan that exit. Plan it first. Okay? I'll see you in the next video.